What up, my friends? We're back working on the bus today, and it's going to be a good one. So now that we got the bunks in and are now gloriously going to be working on curtains for the bunks. There's a couple of updates that we're going to do to these bunks, especially my kids are going to be sleeping in there. Got some stuff coming in for that, but we're going to work on these curtains. My beautiful wife is actually going to sew them, but I need to put the clips in first so we can measure where the hooks are going to come down to. So once we put them on, it won't leave a whole bunch of gaps for light to come through. So super excited, and we're going to take you along for a ride. So we got this cool box in. Actually, I'll already opened this one up. It has a track and then all these parts. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like we got 6 different clips, 2 end pieces, and a bunch of trolleys. So these pieces are going to go up underneath the bunk, or in this case, they'll go up here somewhere. And then what's going to end up happening is we can take this, and what it'll do is it literally just, you clip it in right like that and stays in there. Cool part is then you got these 2 end caps. One goes on the one side, which is great because what this will allow me to do is it'll allow me to clip the curtain to the foot end, so we don't have to worry about that pulling up unless you want to clip it here. And then I can also put one up here as well, so you can clip the curtain in up there. And then of course, before you do that, you get all these little trolleys that go on here that roll nice, and then we got hooks that are going to go on the trolleys. So I read the directions right before coming out here and doing this, and it says you're supposed to unfurl this for 24 hours and let it stretch out, and possibly with some heat, in order to be able to get it to stay open or whatever. Unfortunately, I did not do that. Abby's like, well, looks like you're doing our project today. Like, no, I really want to get this done. So instead of trying to force these things in there, what I am going to do is I'm going to go ahead and unbox the rest of them. This one actually is going to go up in between the driver's and passenger seat and the back part of the bus, so that we can have some privacy back here when we're stopped, but then also if we're driving and people want to have the lights on back here, then it doesn't bother me driving, since I'm the one driving it most of the time. Or hopefully someday when somebody else is driving me around in this thing, I can take a nap in the middle of the night and somebody else can drive through the night instead of me having to do that. So this one is for up front because it's shorter. I had to get longer ones. They had them either in 6-foot sections, or I think these, I don't remember how long they were, but I needed 80 inches. So the 6-foot wasn't going to cut it. I didn't want to try to splice it together. So I'm going to go ahead and pull all these out, get them stretched out, and then we're going to start measuring to see. I'll probably do the bottom 2 first, since it's pretty easy to gauge a straight line on those. And then I got to figure out, I was going to put a little furring strip up here to have a nice line, but that brings the passageway of getting in here, makes it smaller. So I'm going to go ahead and probably just do what my wife said, because she's brilliant, and we're just going to attach it to the top, and then this thing will just be hanging down, and that'll be it. So here we go. Front and back, because all I'm going to do is I'm going to put this right up next to where the end cap is. Yeah, that should be plenty of space. So what we can do then is just know that, I'm wondering if I need to do it. That should be fine. So I'm first one that I'm going to do is going to be pretty easy, because it basically is just the end cap that's going to be on there, a space away to put it here. I'm going to do that on both sides, and then I need to figure out, I think I have 10 of these per each one. I'm not going to use all of them, but we'll just string them across, figure out what the best distance is to keep them all together, and then we'll do this one, bottom one, and then the top one I'm going to probably have to string a line, or actually I might just take a piece of string and do it that way, and just run it across. That way we can make sure it's all going to work together. We're going to hang these up and then see where we go. Cool. Next side. So directions said to do it every 10 to 12 inches. After kind of looking at it, I was going to do 12 inches, but I'm going to do 10 because they're 80 inches and I've got 2 on either side. So if I go by 10, the other one will be a little bit closer, but not so close to where it looks weird. And it's going to be down at everybody's feet, so I'm okay with that. So every 10 inches. So yeah, let's get to it. So I think just for fun, to try to, now that I've got this one on, I'm gonna go ahead and try to straighten one out a little bit and see if I can, get it without kinking or whatever, and see what it looks like. I do have to cut them over on this side, but yeah, we'll start putting it in, see what it looks like. Well, that, my friends, it's pretty slick. They all roll super nice. Hopefully they don't make too much noise while we're going on the road, but that makes me pretty excited. So I think what I'm going to do is, and honestly it worked out, it's not super warm in the bus, but I think this will straighten out pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this here, and then just take a little hand hacksaw or whatever and cut it right there, and then that one will be done. As far as putting it in, I'm going to go ahead and do the bottom one, and then the top one might take me a little bit longer. But what I think I'm going to do there is I might just tape a string up so I know where the edge of the bed is, since it's pretty much not going anywhere. And yeah, we'll keep working on this. Alright, to make it a little bit easier to do this top part, I'm using this bungee cord as just a sight line to know where all it needs to go. And the good thing is it's going to come right up to right beside this guy, so I don't have to worry about this at all. And yeah, it'll button everything up real nice. And boom, top is done. Not exactly straight, a little wavy, but you know, that's all right. All of them are a little bit wavy anyway, and the ceiling is an interesting story anyway. But it's gonna work. So there's 20 runs or 20 slides on every single one. The hooks come 3 inches down. I need to go tell Abby that so she knows where to put the grommets. And then we'll have 22 grommets because we'll have one that's gonna go just up like that and hold on to this back end, and then we can, I don't know if I'll put a hook on the other end or not. But there will be one that stays here the whole time. That way we don't have to worry about it going anywhere, and then the rest of them will all be on that wonderful little track. So it's gonna be awesome. So the bunks are done. I'm gonna go do this guy up here. I gotta pull the old one down and cut and put the new one up, and then all the runs are gonna be done. And I think the other thing that I was gonna try to do today was look into trying to put the reading lights in the bunks. So we'll see if we can get to that. But I gotta let Abby know where I need the grommets for these two, because I think she's working on that next. So let's move up front, pull that one down, cut and put the other one up there, and then go let Abby know where we need all the grommets. Boom, and done. So now we've got the ability to be able to split curtains that way. Whoops, I think it's 5 and 5. Yeah, there we go. So, yep, I kind of like this. I think I'm still trying to figure out how I'm doing the headpiece up here, because I got to get this covered up. I got to get that insulated back in there. But I do like this. I ended up using the same holes back here, and the reason for that somewhat, even though this looks kind of crummy, is I need to be able to get this down still so I can put some fabric stuff in there, and I didn't want to have to be able to unscrew this and take it out every single time I need to work on something up there. So use the same holes. That creates an edge or a lip up here, which means that probably what I'll do is create this thing, use this as my baseline, so it'll come down here, then I'll come over. The only unfortunate thing is then I've got it hanging over right here, so that you know, when you got this hooked up, or it'll come down here as opposed to draping around. But you know, that's how it is now. I can always cut it shorter if I want it to set inside of there, or I could even take those end caps off, I guess, if I wanted to, or not even use the hooks and just have them hooked onto the edge there some other way. But I still gotta create and design the facade for that whole front end still too, so that's in the works. But these are all in. Let's go, or I gotta go tell Abby about the hooks, and then she'll make the curtains, and then we'll come out here and hang them up. All right, so went and talked with Abby a little bit. She's gonna work on the curtains for the bunks, but probably not gonna get done today. But we've got plenty of other things that we need to do, like putting in the lights for the bunks. So I've got 3 lights that need to go up here in the back, and I'll show you real quick what they look like. So I bought these on recommendation from another YouTuber, And the reason for it is because they're small, compact, can articulate around, and they have a USB charger on it. So this is supposed to illuminate blue for like kind of a nightlight type thing and then turn off, and then this is your light for like your reading light. The goal is to put them kind of up here like this, so that you can charge your phone up here. It kind of is out of the way, but you can easily turn it on or off. So I think this one's probably going to go right about here. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I'm going to do with these, but I'd like to be able to put some sort of a cover across here. So this one's probably going to go right up like that. I'll drill a hole through the back side so I can get to the wires and stuff on the back, because then this will run all of our wires back up to the front to plug it into the anchor, and yeah, we'll be well on our way. So I'm going to take this off so I can figure out exactly where I need to put the hole to get through here, and then we'll do it to the bottom two, and then we'll run our cable all the way up to the front, plug it in, and hopefully everything works. Now, I was thinking about doing something ridiculously crazy, which was essentially taking one of the planks over there and routing the edge of it in a way that essentially allowed you the ability to be able to hide the wire completely. And as much as I was like, that would be super cool because then it'd be all nice and clean, that's gonna be a little complicated. So instead of doing that, we're just gonna go ahead and mount these brackets up and just run the cable to the back side of it, because I can still come through the back and then run the cables up without too much of an issue, and just run them in the crevice between the back. So first we got to figure out where these are going and then mount them up, figure out, then the hole will go through the middle section and we'll be all set. So here we go. Much easier if you do it from this lane up over there, I guess. It is super nice that, you know, I didn't totally seal these things off just yet. So putting stuff like this in, you can get to it a little bit easier. And that hole was perfect size for this. So we will get this to sit right up there. Maybe. Hope I didn't put this in upside down. That would be a real bummer. I don't think I did. Yeah, there we go. Put our little set screw back in. Oh. Perfect. Cool. So now we just got this little pigtail that's coming out back here, and we'll put the other one probably over on this side, and same with that one over here. That way they're a little bit further over. So yeah, we'll do that, and then we'll wire all these guys up. And that's the thing, like I can just run the wire straight down here all along this side and just attach them over to it. So it'll work. 2 down, 1 more to go. We got that part done. We gotta go run cable from front to back, and then we're gonna start splicing and putting connections to it. So I'm still trying to decide exactly how or where everything's going as far as the anchor stuff, because I've thought about possibly sticking it underneath the bunk just so it's kind of out of the way. The AC unit had been sitting here, AC heater unit, but I still got to figure out what I'm going to do as far as the ventilation stuff for that too. So there's a lot of things that I'm still trying to figure out, but I'm just going to do what I did here, leave enough slack, and we'll run it all the way up around and over to the back and figure out what we need to do from there. Well, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get everything wired for the lights yet. The lights are in. I just gotta splice some things, but I also have to find a lighter. And for some reason, I can't find one. And we gotta head into church. So I'm gonna call it for right now. It is a beautiful next day, and since I didn't have time to finish the lights last night, that's what we're doing this morning. So we're gonna hop in the bus after I feed these cats that keep whining and complaining. Yeah, we're gonna wire up those 3 lights, plug them in, and see if they work.
This cable. There we go.
You gotta hold it up upright.
I see.
Well, you gotta hold it like this, or else it's gonna be sideways when I have to edit it.
I'm like lying on the bed.
I can see that. All right, so we are going to put on this bottom light first. And these lines are not hot right now. I didn't, even though I did the stuff up front, I made sure that I didn't actually plug them in or put a fuse in specifically so I wasn't doing this while it was live. Because I didn't really feel like shocking myself this morning. Did you feel like shocking yourself this morning, bub?
No.
Yeah.
Because when I pushed the button, when I tried to push the button and it didn't go in.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so we got those.
Guys, do you know what that is? It's a light.
So what books are you gonna read, bub, once we get these in?
I can't read yet.
What?
Yep, only IV.
Well, that's what you keep telling me you're doing late at night.
I'm not reading.
You're not reading? What are you doing?
I just look at books.
Oh.
Not read them. But I like say things in them.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't say those things.
Oh. You just do it for pretend.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, because it's connected?
Yep, should be.
Oh, not.
Can you hit the
not,
button?
I did.
Okay.
Oh, good. You have to hit it 2 times. You have to hit it 2 times.
So that's for your night light, and then that's for your reading light.
Oh.
And it's off.
That way?
Sweet. That's pretty bright.
Yeah.
I mean, I will. Let me close this real quick.
And now you gotta do that one, right?
Yep.
So let's. And then you can turn it off.
All right.
Oh, now let's try it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a little nightlight.
Nightlight.
Let's see the. That's a good reading light.
That is
A good one.
I like that. All right. Now we just got to do it a couple more times. On to the next one. All right, that's one light down, and these next ones. So I'm going to go ahead and probably staple this right here. Connect that wire in, and then we got to do the top one, and then we'll have all of them lit up. So I'm gonna keep working on that. All right, well, we got everything wired up, got all the fuses and stuff plugged in and running up. The other thing I did was I took these lights and put them on a dimmer, and the cool part is, if I remember where I stuck it, here it is. I have this wireless control plate for these lights too, so you can turn them off or turn them on using this, and you can also dim it. So I purposely set the dimmer switch up over here, where I'm thinking about maybe mounting it up like this, so when this is there, like the knob will still be able to be adjusted there, but then this can go literally anywhere else, and we can just screw it and mount it wherever we want to. So I can still decide where I want that. But the other thing was what we were working on before, which were these lights. So I got them all hooked up, and the cool part is you got blue little night light type deal, then the actual light itself, and off. But all that is done while it is actually charging the phone itself. So whether you are actually using the light or not, you can charge your phone off these lights, which is super, super cool. So I'm super pumped. I am super glad that I was able to get them in. The kids, I've got some video of them jumping up in here and really enjoying playing with their lights, even though they're not only theirs. But I think these are actually going to be awesome for being able to be bunk lights, because they're bright enough to where once we get the curtains up, which Abby is working on today for me, it's dark enough to where having that little bit of a light, even with the blue, will, you know, be easier to be able to see around. And then when you want to read, you can just turn the light on, and it's bright enough to where you can see kind of towards down the end, because that space over there, that whole gap, that's going to get filled in here. I got to figure out exactly how I'm going to do that, whether I'm going to just put metal plates and then just screw it in, or I got to figure that part out. But the idea is then basically the only way to get in and out is going to be in this way, which honestly on the top is not that hard. The kids like having the steps so that they can crawl up through there, but the funny thing is, like, where those steps are is the same height as where all these are. So but yeah, bunk project's coming along, everything's wired up, it's working really well. These lights actually do not draw a whole lot of power, which is one of the things that I like a lot. And I think what I might end up doing is taking these lights, which were off the accessory light of the car or of the bus, I'm going to take those and I'm probably going to just go ahead and put them into the same power block. And the reason for that is because honestly, like, it doesn't draw a whole lot of power, and then we can actually use them while we're parked without having to have the keys in and the accessories on. And I didn't realize how big a deal that was going to be until we parked it and used it at the church camp out not too long ago, because in order to use those lights, putting the kids to bed and that sort of thing, granted we didn't have these bunk lights either, but I do kind of want to be able to use these more often than when the bus is just being loaded and unloaded. So since those are actually on a different circuit or whatever, actually, yeah, I was gonna say, since they're on a different circuit and they're running all the way up here, I'm gonna have to change that around, but I might be able to tie it into the bunk lights as well. I'll think through that a little bit. But thanks so much for watching. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next Bust episode. On to the next one.